We're coming on the air with some breaking news this hour. A judge has dismissed the cases against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. It's coming after that federal judge ruled that a prosecutor was unlawfully appointed to her role. I want to bring in our law enforcement and intelligence correspondent, Tom Winter, who's standing by for us. Tom, if you will, bring us up to date as to how we got here to this moment.
Right. So there's been a number of different challenges that we've had here, Yasmin, to this particular case. And Comey had argued against the indictment on several different fronts, saying that it was selective and vindictive. And then he was arguing against the indictment because he said the appointment of Lindsey Halligan, who at one point was counsel to current President Donald Trump when he was going through his legal troubles prior to the election, saying that that appointment was not valid, and arguing that before the court. And so this is just one of several challenges. And on this front, we now have a ruling from Judge Cameron Curry, a senior U.S. district judge, saying the appointment of Ms. Halligan as interim U.S. attorney violated the law and the appointments clause of the Constitution. All actions flowing from Ms. Halligan's defective appointment, including securing and signing Mr. Comey's indictment, were unlawful exercises of executive power and are hereby set aside. The judge went on to say that the Attorney General's attempts to ratify Ms. Halligan's actions were ineffective, and those are also set aside. And so the motion to dismiss the indictment is granted in accordance with the order, and the indictment is dismissed without prejudice. That means technically that the Justice Department can try to bring these charges again when a U.S. attorney is properly installed in the Eastern District of Virginia, where they sought to bring this case. Bit of an asterisk on that, though, because this case was kind of rushed to completion before the grand jury because of statute of limitations concerns. And so now the question is, has that time run? Was there some sort of an agreement here where the Justice Department says, well, wait a minute, we had an opportunity to respond to this. There were challenges, and so we should be able to get that time back to bring an indictment. That's a step that we're just not clear on at the moment. On top of that, another indictment that obviously got a lot of attention against New York's Attorney General Letitia James. That indictment also dismissed on the same grounds and the same type of arguments that Lindsey Halligan was not appropriately appointed to U.S. Attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia. That case is a little bit different because of some of the conduct that's been alleged there. That case, it is possible, could be brought again with a properly installed U.S. Attorney. You're looking at Lindsey Halligan, a photograph of her there. The Comey case, there's still some other challenges that remain outstanding, including on that selective and vindictive prosecution. So we expect to hear from that as soon as this week from the judge in that case to be able to look at that, or the judge, rather, that's reviewing that issue, to look at that and then be able to make a ruling on that. So as far as Comey's concerned, not all of the orders are in. This one appears to be quite clear and is final as far as this particular indictment, which is the idea of these particular charges and this particular conduct now dismissed without prejudice, and still a bit of an open question, as I mentioned, as to whether or not they can be brought again. If the statute of limitations time has come up, Yasmin, that means that's it as far as that conduct. And if the Justice Department is going to try to bring charges against Comey, who was fired during the first Trump administration, obviously somebody the President of the United States views as a foe, well, they're going to have to go about it a different route.
Hey, Tom, just so I'm clear on this. So my understanding is, in fact, as you mentioned, they may not be able to bring up these specific charges once again for James Comey because of that statute of limitations. But when it comes to the New York Attorney General Letitia James, in fact, that statute of limitations does not necessarily exist. So these particular charges could be brought up once again.
That's what without prejudice means. It means that you have an opportunity to bring those charges again. And so that's something that we'll have to look at. But at least my initial look at the ruling here is that for the New York Attorney General, she's not quite out of the woods yet as far as future indictment. Whatever other legal challenges she faces, those can also be heard by the court as well. So it's not totally settled for her. For James Comey, obviously, there's going to be some more watching of the dockets and also to see what the Justice Department does in terms of those statute of limitations.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.